What's going on, everyone? Goddrifter here, and welcome. Wait, hold on. Just need to check. Okay, I'm good. What's going on, everyone? Goddrifter here, and welcome back to another live stream. So I do have a new series that I want to do, and I'm sorry over sarcastically productions that I'm borrowing this type of video idea. That even though it's also considered most likely writing, is literally a video game trope that most people wouldn't understand. Um, Also, be sure to actually stay around, stay tuned because I do have some news considering the situation of, well, this channel and as well as Discord. But more or less, uh, more or less, it shouldn't have been. It should be fine. So anyway, as always, we're doing some Springstone. Drifting is on. Time attack is off. And every single thing is well. Um, I'm going to leave night mode off for now because really, like, if anything, you can't even see. So there's that. And no, and don't worry, it's not a full-on car history like the last couple of live streams ago. So, what do I want to talk about in terms of racing cliches? Well, let's start at the beginning with the first car trope. Now, for those that are wondering, what does it mean to have a first car? And by this, I meant there are literally a lot of people that didn't know that in any start of a new game, you need to go and need a car. So that's where the starter cars come in. Some have good diversity. The others are questionable at best. For example, in the terms of the questionable at best, even though we got the Crown Vic as the first car for the cop side of the actual thing. What I don't understand is why in the world did they give us a 718 Spider from Porsche, which keep in mind is one of the many expensive, if not the most expensive thing you can give us as a starter car. Then again, there's the 370Z, which can use. There's also a bunch of cars that anything would have been better than a Porsche 718 Spider. But that's just my opinion. But in terms of what car had good diversity, in terms of let's see, in terms of what kind of cars actually one of us wanted to actually pick, it is quite simple. It is indeed the what's that called? If anything, Midnight Clubs 3 have probably the best. Probably has best. Has best. Oh yeah, the best starter car. That's the best starter cars that I can actually pick from. You have literally the Legendary Eclipse, which is a Japanese coupe. You got your Jetta, a German sedan, an R32, which keep in mind it is the Mark IV, so there's that. And then you got the Monte Carlo as well as the Impala, which are two American muscle cars. Oh, as well as the Nissan SRT4, an American compact sedan. What else is there? And actually, it's kind of a good thing that he's trying to pick a Hummer as your first vehicle. Man, doubt it. Like, here's the thing. When it comes to trying to get yourself the most expensive car, that's kind of in a way at you when it comes to your budget. And not to mention, these are budget. These type of cars that they pick are without doubt something that came from a budget. And not to mention, this budget can actually help you in more ways than one. For example, in Middle Club 3, the remix version, they give you a opportunity to actually get yourself outside on TC. Reason being is because a lot of people, when it comes to the actual first played the first Midnight Club 3, as the original Midnight Club 3, is ridiculously difficult, and is ridiculously difficult for a very good reason. And that reason is literally is well, it's kind of obvious if you think about it. The game is hard, like as in it's not Tokyo Extreme Racer hard. Like I know how difficult that game is. And trust me, it took me 2 years to beat, and it turns out I was picking the wrong vehicle for the wrong reasons. So so what's so different about having a starter car versus the car that you bought? Well, there are. Well, I say here's another example. Need for Speed Underground 2. Out of all the games that has a lot of diversity, it has to be Need for Speed Underground 2, because not only got your Americans and your Japanese, but you also got your European cars as well. And trust me, when it comes to the European version of Need for Speed Underground 2, they don't have one. See, apparently they don't have an RSX, but we don't have a 106, which is kind of hilarious because we don't have those in the US. Big sad. Anyway, excuse me. Hmm. Alright. Ay, ay. Now, not to mention, the reason that I say Nissan Road 2 have the best options is because because the reason that you're getting these vehicles in the first place is because in the beginning of the game, spoiler warning, someone trashed the skyline, and apparently insurance the insurance that we got is so crappy that we end up had to result in getting a much lower end vehicle. And by lower end, I mean the cars that are from 100 horsepower to 200 horsepower, depending on the vehicle, of course. And trust me and my brother played New Zealand Underground 2, and not once we think of picking the 240. No, instead, we chose the most realistic vehicle possible, a Honda Civic. Now, keep in mind, at that time, it was. Keep in mind, it was around the mid to late 2000s, and yeah, if you think about it now, it's probably one of the better ways to actually get into cars. Except you want to make your own body kits, because no one doesn't want to see that mess. Like, come on now. Anyways, uh, in terms of the questionable first cars that you can actually get is probably the most I would say infamous of the Need for Speeds, and that is Most Wanted 2012. Now, I did give um I did give 2010 benefit of the doubt, because at least you can pick other vehicles to start. Well, here's the thing. That's the only way to actually start off with a lower end vehicle. But the reason why I said lower, the reason why I said that is because at that time every single vehicle is new, including the RX-8. Well, the facelifted RX-8. But when it comes to another Need for Speed game, Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012, this tends to actually went from okay, it's not bad to okay, what is this? Okay, let's start off. Let's start off the obvious reason why most people didn't like Most Wanted 2012. You can get you can get the fastest car as a starter car. Yeah, think about it. What most people didn't realize is the fact that you can get a Lamborghini Gallardo, a V10 powered supercar, as the first car. And then, oh dear lord, they did it again. This time in Rivals, where you got a Porsche Cayman as the first car. At least they changed it with 2015 Payback and Heat. Wait, hold on. Oh, alright then. Apparently 2015 had a bit of a problem with one of the cars. Let's see. Now, in terms of what cars they picked as your first car, well, it could have easily been a Volvo, a Honda, and a Mustang, but no. Instead, it is almost those two, except they added a newer BRZ from 2015. And keep in mind, at that time, Scion was losing. At that time, Scion was actually in the brim of extinction, as in literally Toyota is shutting them down to the fact that youth, their youth focused is youth car company branding decided, oh, I guess we gotta shut them out because it's not attracting young people. In fact, they're attracting the opposite, elder people. Excuse me. I mean, then again, a Sun F-Force would have been better, with a better first car than the BRZ. And trust me, there is a good reason why I said that in the first place. Well, then again, it's kind of a good thing that that not Toyota overall. I mean, I wish Toyota to still be there, but more or less, the BRZ would have been a better choice to actually stick to, instead of having three of the same exact car. Only difference being that one of them can be customized with Toyota parts, but has the power of the BRZ. Hmm. Now what was I? Oh yes. Uh, yes. Need for Speed Payback. we got a problem. Okay, so although yes, I like variety in my cars, that doesn't mean I want. That doesn't mean I want a very fast muscle car from the 80s, a very fast sports car from the 90s, and I don't want a boxed up German car from the 1960s. And not to mention, they did everything wrong. As in, as in, all of, but not limited to, picking the picking the 1980s king of muscle cars, which keep in mind was beating everybody with a V6 twin turbo. Wait, is it twin turbo? No, I think it was a single turbo. Yeah, single turbo. Um, Not to mention, you got an S2000, which can rev to 95k RPM. Keep in mind, it's an S2000. There's no such thing as limitations. What's this? A Golf? Something that you can actually relate to? Can it be like? Is it gonna be a best starter car? No, it turns out that it was the least fastest of all three. Yeah, believe it or not, the S2000 is second place in terms of second place versus the Buick. Then again, they did. Uh, it's like I think they finally did it right in the speed heat when you can choose. Like, you can choose. So you can actually choose one of the three used cars that you can actually pick. Alright, let me list them for you. You got the JDM icon known as the 180SX, which keep in mind usually came with an SR20, and it has 224 horsepower, which is not bad. Uh, Up next you got the German engineered BMW E30, which actually it's kind of perfect. And then you got the full blown muscle known as the Ford Mustang. Oh, and there's also don't try picking the Camaro, because if you did, then you'll meet with this message. Like, yeah, why in the world was it an option in the first place? So most likely for those are future racing game developers, pick your cars wisely, as most people thinking that picking a starter car might need to be a little bit of a stretch. And not to mention, don't just pick them out of the box, uh, for example, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and Need for Speed Underground, not Underground, Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012, and Rivals. In fact, here's another good example, which is what this live stream is. Uh, Now, what most people didn't know is the fact that a lot of people didn't know about this when they first played the game. Okay. Alright, so for the most part, it's actually not bad, but in terms of bringing the first car, as you bringing the starter car, you need to have well, in one way or another, you need to have some research on what most people will think of when getting a starter car, because it's gonna be one thing or another. Either it's gonna be, oh, okay, that's realistic, like you don't want to start off with a really fast car, or it's going to have the Need for Speed Most Wanted effect, where you end up giving away a bunch of vehicles, and guess what? They picked up the guess what? They picked up the Bugatti Veyron as their first car. Oh my god. Hmm. All right. Uh. Okay. This is probably gonna be the last racing cliches that I'm going to be talking about, and that is, and the fact that it is so easy that you can actually think of what it is right away. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be and that, my friends, would have been Grip versus Drifts. Well, no, that's the wrong title. Uh, hmm. What do I think? Oh yeah, horsepower versus lightweighted torque. No, wait, no, that's not right either. Hmm. Do I have a name for this? Hmm. Oh right, now I got it. Car classes. Yeah, when it comes to newer cars nowadays, depending on what kind of car it is, you will think that it will be this category or this category. Instead, it's kind of the opposite. Needs to be Carbon did Needs to be Carbon did this one. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's it. Oh yeah, Needs to be Carbon is very good because of the car class system. fact that, and not to mention, not only they're based. Oh my god. Okay, what was I saying? Alright, there are some ways to actually do car classes and car tiers right, and there are some that actually did the wrong. For example, GTA has a bunch of sports cars to the point where it can actually be its own category. For example, for example, the VSTR as VCR is a it's a sports class car, even though it looks more like a sedan, but that's because it is. But along with the V8 that is, and that's it, like I said, it's supercharged, it's probably one of the more effective ways to actually get into the car. On the other hand, you got the Strider, which is a full-on SUV, a lifted SUV, and yeah, um, it's sports class. Now, there's a reason why I bring up car classes. Is because due to the fact that each car has its own class. For example, Need to Speed Carbon. You had You had 3 tiers as well as 3 types of cars: tuners, muscles, and exotics. For example, me and the 240 are 2 totally different vehicles. And let's say this needs to be carbon. I'm in a tier 3 muscle car, while that 240 that is in the back of me will have been a tier 1 tuner car. Uh, and not to mention, each car has its own drawbacks as well as its strengths. With tuners, it's handling but loses speed. Oh jeez. With with most cars, they're best accelerating but has the crappiest handling. When it comes to exotics, top speed is their name, but acceleration is not their game. Oh, ow. Believe it or not, it's actually not that bad. But more importantly, car classes can be difficult to actually do due to the fact that you want people to drive fairly, which is what they did in East Pro Street, where they actually take, depending on how much you upgrade your car, to a higher level. Oh, and to make things a lot more better, they actually did most of these things. They did most of these things because of progression. That's the other reason why a lot of people do this. It's because of the progression. More than more more than enough, a lot of people like these type of things. It's because they want to have their own diverse their own diversity when it comes to things like this. But importantly, there are some things to not sneeze at. For example, if you look, if you look at these on the cover, there are a lot of cars that are from tier 4, tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1. Tier 1 being Tier 1 being the slowest but more cheaper cars, while tier 4 are more expensive cars are the more expensive cars that can actually be entertained if you work hard enough. Oh, crap. Alright, we're good. Not to mention, uh, each tier has their own costs. In fact, even though you have, even though you have a, even though you have a tier 4 car, you're going to face with tougher competition. As in, they can, as in, it can be really difficult when it comes to actually with cars like those. Alright. Now, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Um, when Now when it comes to car classes, as in what type of car there are many ways to actually do this. Alright, for example, let's say for example, this Toyota Subaru I'm driving right now is a Class 5 tuner car that can actually have the power of a supercar. Now, how do I do this? Well, it's quite simple. I will count it as a tuner car because what the? Okay, that was really necessary. What was he doing? What was I saying? Yeah. Um. Alright, and it's actually, if I remember correctly, most people have done this before. Oh, don't worry, it's fine. You just need to actually figure out what you want to do, as well as grab your things too. But then again, car cla- car classes are defined by what type of cars there are, what make of the cars there are, and what model of cars are there. So, for example, let's just say, okay, here's an example: the Chevrolet Cobalt SS. Now, Chevrolet would have been an American brand. The Cobalt would have been a tuner. And it would have been, okay, it's an American tuner car. Same thing goes with like a Lamborghini, Ferrari, Maserati, which they're Italian, but if, for example, you had an Aventador as a supercar, then you will have a Ferrari as a hypercar. You get what I mean? Like most people would have done well done like this. Oh, I just gonna put every single most expensive car entirely as a hypercar because obviously it's the what I want. No, that's not how it works. Do your research. Do your research, people. For those that are future racing game, future racing game developers, be sure to actually figure out what cars you want to add and make sure that those car classes are diverse at best. Like if you had, like for example, don't pull a manufacturer only type racing game because a lot of people gonna lose interest and it's not gonna be fun. For example, Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed, which came out in the 2000s, and although it was good, it just left a lot of racing game developers to figure out a way to replace the iconic badge. Well, there is one there is one car brand that you should know about, and that is Roof. Roof is a Roof was a car company that um, actually decides, oh, EA's not letting you have Porsche. Well, boom, here you go. You got yourself a modified Porsche for your car, for your games. You're welcome. Anyway, um, so yeah, uh, I guess that okay. So in terms of the big news, it actually breaks my heart to do this, and I really, really want to keep going at this, but I'm retiring from GT Sport now. Calm down, calm down. It's not a it's not a permanent retiring. It's just that I need to actually know how to actually control my lobby because every now and then, like someone decides to like rebel, and not to mention plans of let's see, my own plans started to backfire on me. Like for example, the first time I ever wanted to do a car list in a different location, it just turned into me doing the same locations over and over again. Okay, that's not bad. Well, what about the Dragon's lobby? That mess was full on chaos incarnate. And keep in mind, I don't even want to know what would happen if I did a race lobby. It's just like there's no point. Like if I want to do these type of things, and keep in mind, I put my stake in heart, blood, sweat, and tears into making those type of lobbies, well, enjoyable. Like it's not as bad as most people think it is, but due to the fact that most people like me and you can actually enjoy these type of lobbies, but due to the fact that it's literally the same exact thing every time, which kind of leaves a bad taste in someone's mouth or everybody else's mouths. So that's my big news. I am retiring. I'm temporarily retiring from GT Sport. So most likely, if you wanted to on keep on subscribe to the channel, you can, but it's gonna be all car extra racing things, as well as the new thing called racing clichés. So without any further ado, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what I see next. Also follow me on Instagram at Goddrifter247sun and follow me on Twitter at GT27S at Goddrifter247sun. And I do have a Discord. It is known as Goddrifter247sun Productions Garage Museum. And what we do not let the Discord die. Like join it. It's fun. It gives you a lot of information, which probably gonna be soon. And like I said, temporarily retiring from GT Sport. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoy your Tuesday, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.